Lisa Martinez stood at the window of her ship and watched the stars. Her hands were steady, but her heart was not. In 3 hours, she would meet aliens who could destroy her people. Everything depended on what happened next. The year was 2387. Humans had spread across many worlds, but they were still weak compared to the old alien empires. The Kethmaran Empire was the strongest of all. They had weapons that could turn planets to dust. They had ships bigger than cities. Most importantly, they had never lost a war. Lisa was 40 years old. She had gray streaks in her black hair and scars on her hands from her time as a soldier. 10 years ago, she had been a Marine fighting on the edge of human space. Then her squad died in an ambush. She was the only one who came home. After that, she could not hold a gun anymore. She became a diplomat instead. Ambassador Martinez, a voice said behind her. She turned to see Commander Jake Sullivan walking into her room. Jake was tall and broad, with kind eyes but a serious face. He commanded the escort ship that protected her vessel. "The aliens are calling us," Jake said. "They want to talk before we reach their world." Lisa nodded. She had expected this. The Kethmarans never did anything without showing their strength first. "Put them through to the main screen." They walked to the bridge together. The crew stood straight when Lisa entered. She could see the fear in their eyes, though they tried to hide it. Everyone knew this mission might fail. If it did, the Kethmarans would attack human colonies. Millions would die. The main screen flickered. Then it showed a face that made everyone step back. The alien was huge, with dark blue skin and yellow eyes. Scars covered his face and neck. Metal pieces were built into his skull, glowing with soft light. This was War Prince Thexneller, the most feared commander in the Kethmoran fleet. "Human vessel," the alien said. His voice was deep and rough. "I am Thexneller. You will follow my ships to Kethathara. You will not change course. You will not scan our worlds. If you disobey, we will destroy you." Lisa stepped forward. She kept her voice calm and strong. "I am Ambassador Lisa Martinez. We come in peace as promised. We will follow your lead." Thexneller stared at her for a long moment. His yellow eyes seemed to look right through her. "You are small, human. Your ships are weak. Why do you think you can bargain with the Empire?" "Because we have something you want," Lisa said. "Or you would not have agreed to these talks." The alien's scarred face showed what might have been surprise. Then he made a sound that could have been laughter. "We will see, small human. Follow us." The screen went dark. Jake let out a breath he had been holding. "Well, that was cheerful," he said. Lisa did not smile. She had seen something in the alien's eyes. Interest, maybe. Or curiosity. That was good. Curious enemies could become friends. Dead enemies could not. Her personal communicator beeped. She looked at it and frowned. It was a message from Senator Amy Harrison back on Earth. The senator was Lisa's boss, and she was not patient. "Martinez," the message said. "The president is watching this mission closely. We need results. The colonies are scared. Some want to fight instead of talk. If you fail, I cannot stop them from starting a war. Do not fail." Lisa deleted the message. She did not need more pressure. She already knew what was at stake. Dr. Ryan Carter joined them on the bridge. Ryan was young and smart, with messy brown hair and thick glasses. He studied alien cultures for the government. "I have been reading about Kethmaran honor codes," he said. "They respect strength above all else, but they also have rules about worthy enemies." "What kind of rules?" Jake asked. "If they think someone is brave enough and strong enough, they might offer alliance instead of conquest," Ryan explained. "It has happened before, but very rarely." Lisa nodded. This matched what she had learned. The Kethmarans were warriors, but they were not mindless killers. They had a complex society with strict rules. If she could understand those rules, she might find a way to save her people. The next few hours passed slowly. Lisa studied her files again and again. She memorized every detail about Kethmoran culture, politics, and military structure. She practiced her speech until every word was perfect. But deep inside, she felt the old fear growing. The same fear she had felt in combat zones. The fear of making a mistake that would get people killed. She had built walls around that fear, buried it under years of discipline and training. Those walls kept her strong, but they also kept her alone. The ship's alarm sounded softly. They were approaching Kethathara, the alien capital world. Lisa looked out the window and gasped. The planet was covered in massive cities that glowed like stars. Hundreds of warships floated in orbit, each one bigger than anything humans had ever built. "My God," Jake whispered. How do we compete with that? Lisa did not answer. She was thinking about her dead squad, about the colonies depending on her, about the weight of responsibility that never seemed to get lighter. She touched the small medal on her uniform, the only thing she had left from her Marine days. We do not compete, she said finally. We survive. And sometimes that is enough. The alien ships guided them toward a docking station the size of a small moon. Lisa watched the massive structure grow larger and larger. Soon she would walk among aliens who saw humans as insects. She would have to convince them that insects could be useful allies. She straightened her uniform and checked her appearance one more time. The woman in the mirror looked calm and professional. No one could see the scared Marine underneath. That was how she needed it to be. The docking process began. In 1 hour, she would meet the creatures who held her people's fate in their hands. She would smile, be polite, and try to find a way to keep humanity alive. It was just another mission. But as the alien station filled the windows, Lisa could not shake the feeling that everything was about to change. The docking station was enormous. Lisa walked through corridors that could fit entire buildings. The walls were made of black metal decorated with alien symbols. Everything felt heavy and powerful, designed to make visitors feel small. War Prince Thexnalar waited for them at the end of the docking tunnel. Up close, he was even more frightening. He stood nearly 8 feet tall with muscles like twisted metal cables. His dark blue skin was covered in battle scars. The metal pieces in his skull pulsed with soft blue light. Ambassador Martinez, he said. His voice echoed in the corridor. I am your honor guard. Where I go, you go. What I say, you hear. If you displease the council, I will be the one to kill you. Lisa looked up at him without flinching. Understood. Will you also be the one to keep us alive if we please them? Thexnalar's yellow eyes narrowed. For a moment, Lisa thought she had made a terrible mistake. Then his scarred mouth curved into what might have been a smile. Perhaps small human. We will see. Jake stepped forward, his hand moving toward his weapon. Ambassador, I don't like this. Captain Sullivan, Lisa said firmly. Stand down. We are guests here. Thexnalar looked at Jake with interest. This one has protective instincts, good. Warriors should protect their leaders. But he is weak. His weapon would not scratch my armor. Then it is fortunate we came to talk, not fight, Lisa replied. The alien made that rough laughing sound again. Come. The council waits and they do not like to wait long. They walked through the station toward the planet's surface. Other aliens watched them pass. All were tall and powerful looking, with the same blue skin and metal augmentations. Some had extra arms. Others had weapons built into their bodies. All looked at the humans like they were strange animals in a zoo. Dr. Ryan Carter whispered to Lisa as they walked. The metal pieces in their heads are neural interfaces. They connect directly to their ships and weapons. It makes them incredibly dangerous in battle. How dangerous? Lisa asked quietly. One Kethmaran warrior could probably fight 100 human soldiers and win, Ryan said. Lisa felt a chill, but she kept walking. Fear would not help her now. They took a transport ship down to the planet's surface. The city below was a maze of towering spires and floating platforms. Everything was built for war. Even the buildings looked like fortresses. The sky was filled with military ships moving in perfect formation. The transport landed at the council building, a massive pyramid that reached into the clouds. Inside, the ceiling was so high Lisa could barely see it. Holographic displays showed star maps and battle reports from across the galaxy. The Kethmoran Empire controlled thousands of worlds. Wait here, Thexnalar commanded. He pointed to a small area near the wall. Do not move. Do not speak unless spoken to. The council will decide if you live or die. Lisa, Jake, Ryan, and Captain Steve Morrison, head of their security team, stood together while Thexnalar walked away. They were alone among hundreds of alien warriors. This is insane, Steve whispered. He was a tough man with gray hair and steady hands. We're completely defenseless here. That's the point, Lisa said. They want us to feel helpless. It's part of their psychological warfare. Is it working? Jake asked. Lisa looked around at the towering aliens, the displays of military might, the weapons that could end human civilization. Yes, she admitted, but that doesn't mean we give up. A deep horn sounded. The room fell silent. 7 massive figures entered from a side chamber. These were the High Council members, the rulers of the Empire. Each one was bigger and more scarred than Thexnalar. Metal covered half their bodies. Their eyes glowed with cold light. The center figure spoke. His voice filled the entire chamber. Humans. You come before the Kethmoran High Council. We have heard your request for alliance. We find it amusing. Lisa stepped forward. Her voice seemed tiny in the huge room, but she spoke clearly. Honored Council, we come seeking mutual benefit. Humanity is young but growing. We offer trade, knowledge, and friendship. Friendship? Another council member laughed. We do not befriend our food. We consume it or ignore it. Yet you agreed to these talks, Lisa said. Why waste your time on food? Silence filled the chamber. Lisa felt every alien eye on her. She had just challenged the council directly. In Kethmoran culture, that could be seen as either brave or stupid. The center figure leaned forward. You have courage, small one. But courage without strength is pointless. What can your weak species offer the Empire? Lisa had prepared for this question. We offer what you lack, creativity born from struggle. You have conquered so much that you have forgotten how to grow. We are still learning, still changing. That makes us valuable. Interesting words, the council member said. But words are wind. We deal in reality. Reality is this. Your colonies exist because we allow it. Your ships fly because we do not stop them. You live because we have not decided to kill you yet. Lisa felt the walls she had built around her emotions start to crack. These aliens saw humans as nothing more than insects. All her diplomatic training seemed useless here. The council session continued for hours. The aliens asked questions designed to show human weakness. They demanded details about military capabilities, colony locations, and population numbers. Lisa answered as best she could, but she knew they were gathering intelligence, not negotiating. Finally, the council dismissed them. We will consider your words, the center figure said. War Prince Thexnalar will be your host while we decide. Do not disappoint us. As they left the chamber, Lisa felt exhausted and defeated. The talks were not real negotiations. The Kethemorans had already decided humanity's fate. They were just enjoying the process of telling their victims about it. Thexnalar led them to guest quarters in another part of the building. The rooms were comfortable but clearly designed for prisoners. Guards stood at every exit. Rest now, humans, Thexnalar said. Tomorrow we will show you more of our world. You should understand what you face. As the others settled in for the night, Lisa found herself alone with her thoughts. She stood at the window looking out at the alien city. Everything she saw spoke of overwhelming power. How could humanity survive against this? A soft sound made her turn. Thexnalar stood in the doorway, having entered without her hearing him. You did not break in there, he said. Other humans would have begged or cried. You stood firm. Should I take that as a compliment? Lisa asked. Take it as observation, Thexnalar replied. He moved closer, and Lisa could see the intelligence in his yellow eyes. You wear armor around your spirit, human. I can see it in how you stand, how you speak. You have been hurt before. Lisa kept her expression neutral. We all carry scars. Yes, Thexnalar agreed. But yours run deep. You fear to show weakness because weakness brought you pain. This I understand. Do you? Lisa asked. Something in his voice suggested he spoke from experience. Thexnalar touched one of the larger scars on his face. I was not always a war prince. Once I was young and believed in honor above all else. That belief cost me everything I loved. So I built armor around my heart and became what the Empire needed. A perfect weapon. Lisa studied his scarred features. And now? Now I wonder if perfect weapons can ever find peace, and he said quietly. Then his voice became formal again. Sleep, Ambassador. Tomorrow will be harder than today. He left as silently as he had come. Lisa stood alone in the dark room, thinking about his words. The alien warrior had seen through her diplomatic mask to the scared soldier underneath. That should worry her, but somehow it did not. Outside, the alien city pulsed with lights and movement. Somewhere in that maze of metal and power, decisions were being made about humanity's future. Lisa could only hope that when those decisions came, she would be ready for them. She touched the metal on her uniform again, thinking of her lost squad. They had died because she made the wrong choice. This time she had to make the right one. Too many lives depended on it. The next morning brought disturbing news. Dr. Ryan Carter had been monitoring alien communications all night. His face was pale when he found Lisa in the dining area. Ambassador, we have a problem, he said quietly. I picked up military transmissions. There's a faction in the Empire that wants to attack our colonies immediately. They think these talks are a waste of time. Lisa set down her cup of coffee. Who leads this faction? Admiral Vexcalar. He commands the 3rd Battle Fleet. The transmissions suggest he has significant support among the younger commanders. Jake joined them, looking grim. I've been watching our guards. They're more tense today. Something has changed. Before Lisa could respond, Thexnaller entered the room. The alien looked different somehow. Less formal, more troubled. Ambassador Martinez, you will come with me today. There are things you must see. What kind of things? Lisa asked. The truth about the Empire. About what your people face. They left the building and traveled through the city in a military transport. Thexnaller sat across from Lisa, his yellow eyes studying her face. Tell me about your war, human. The one that gave you those scars on your spirit. Lisa was surprised by the directness of the question. I was a Marine. My squad was ambushed on a colony world called New Texas. We were supposed to secure a research station. What happened? Lisa felt the old pain stir in her chest. She had never talked about this with anyone except military psychologists. I made the wrong choice. I led them into a trap. 18 good people died because I was too proud to retreat. Thexnaller nodded slowly. And you blame yourself. I was their leader. Their deaths are my responsibility. Is that why you build walls around your heart? To protect yourself from caring too much? Lisa looked at him sharply. What do you know about walls? The alien was quiet for a moment. Then he began to speak, his voice low and distant. I had a mate once. Her name was Kira Vel. She was beautiful and fierce, a pilot in the Imperial fleet. I was young then, believing that honor and duty were the highest virtues. The transport moved through busy streets filled with alien workers and soldiers. Lisa waited for him to continue. The High Command ordered an attack on a rebellious world. The planet had civilians, families, children. Kira Vel refused to participate in the bombing. She said it was murder, not war. I could have supported her. Instead, I chose duty over love. What happened to her? She was executed for disobedience. I was promoted for loyalty. Thexnellar's hands clenched into fists. That day I learned that perfect soldiers make terrible people. So I built armor around my heart just as you did. Lisa felt something shift inside her chest. This alien warrior understood loss in ways she had not expected. Do you regret your choice? Every day, he said simply. The transport stopped at a massive military complex. Thexnaller led her through security checkpoints and into a command center filled with holographic displays. The room buzzed with activity as alien officers monitored fleet movements across the galaxy. Admiral Vexcalar, Thexnaller called to a tall figure studying a star map. The admiral turned, and Lisa saw an alien even more imposing than Thexnaller. Vexcalar was younger, with fewer scars but more metal augmentations. His eyes glowed brighter and his movements had the quick precision of a predator. War Prince, Vexcalar said. Why do you bring the human here? She should understand what she faces, Thexnaller replied. Vexcalar approached Lisa, circling her like a hunter studying prey. So this is humanity's champion. Small, weak, fragile, yet you think you can bargain with the Empire. I think we can find common ground, Lisa said, keeping her voice steady. Common ground? Vexcalar laughed. The only common ground between us will be the graves of your people. Look at this display, human. He gestured to a holographic map showing human colonies scattered across space. Red markers indicated Kethmoran fleet positions. The aliens had ships near every human world. We could destroy your entire species in a matter of days, Vexcalar continued. Your colonies are defenseless. Your ships are toys. Your weapons are useless against our armor. Why should we negotiate when we can simply take what we want? Lisa studied the display, her mind racing. The Admiral was right. Humanity was completely outmatched militarily. But she had noticed something else. Your fleets are spread very thin. You have ships everywhere but nowhere in large numbers. Why? Vexcalar's eyes narrowed. Careful, human. Your questions could be seen as intelligence gathering, or as genuine curiosity about your magnificent empire, Lisa replied smoothly. Thexnaller stepped between them. Enough, Admiral. The human is here to learn, not spy. And what exactly is she learning, War Prince? That you grow soft in your old age? That you question the Empire's decisions? Lisa sensed dangerous undercurrents in the conversation. These two aliens clearly disagreed about something important. I question nothing, Thexnaller said carefully. I serve the Empire as I always have. Do you? Reports say you spend much time with the human prisoners. Some wonder about your loyalty. The tension in the room grew thick. Lisa realized she was witnessing a political struggle within the alien hierarchy. Vexcolor represented the aggressive faction, while Thexnaller seemed more moderate. My loyalty has never been questioned, Thexnaller said, his voice dangerously quiet. Then prove it. Support my proposal to the High Council. End these useless talks and begin the conquest of human space. Our younger warriors grow restless for battle. Give them the war they deserve. Lisa felt ice in her veins. The Admiral was planning to attack regardless of the negotiations. She had to find a way to stop this, but how? I will consider your words, Admiral, Thexnaller said finally. They left the command center in silence. Once they were alone in the transport, Lisa turned to her alien escort. He's going to attack our colonies, isn't he? With or without the Council's approval. Thexnaller stared out the window at the passing city. Vexcolor believes the Empire has grown weak through negotiation. He thinks conquest is the only path to strength. And what do you believe? The alien was quiet for a long time. When he spoke, his voice was barely audible. I believe I have seen too many worlds burn. Too many species extinguished. Sometimes I wonder if warriors without purpose become destroyers. Lisa felt something crack in the walls around her heart. This alien understood the cost of violence in ways her own people did not. You don't want this war. What I want is irrelevant. I am a weapon of the Empire. Weapons do not choose their targets, but people do. And you are more than just a weapon. Thexnaller looked at her with surprise. Am I? How can you be certain? Because weapons don't mourn the innocent. They don't question orders. They don't tell enemy ambassadors about their lost loves. Lisa leaned forward. You're not a weapon, Thexnaller. You're a person who has been hurt so badly that you forgot how to feel. And you, Ambassador? What are you? Lisa thought about his question as the transport returned to their quarters. What was she? A soldier hiding behind diplomacy? A broken woman afraid to care again? Or something else entirely? That evening, as Lisa stood on the balcony of her quarters, Thexnaller appeared beside her. The alien city spread below them, beautiful and terrible in the darkness. Tell me about hope, human, he said suddenly. What do you mean? Your people face extinction, yet you continue to fight. Where does such hope come from? Lisa considered her answer carefully. Maybe it comes from knowing that giving up means everyone dies. When the alternative is nothing, even small chances seem worth taking. And if I told you that your small chance was about to become no chance at all? Lisa's blood chilled. What are you saying? Thexnaller moved closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. Don't disgrace me with false weakness, Ambassador. I know you are strong, but strength without truth is meaningless. If you truly want to save your people, you must trust me with something you have never given anyone. What? Your real heart. Not the diplomat's mask, not the soldier's armor, the frightened, hoping, genuine person underneath all those walls. Lisa stared at him in shock. The alien was asking for something no one had ever demanded of her, complete emotional honesty. It was the one thing she had sworn never to give again. Why? She whispered. Because, Thexnaller said, his yellow eyes reflecting the city lights. Tomorrow Admiral Vexcolor makes his move, and if you want any chance of stopping him, you will need allies. Real allies. The kind that only come when trust is absolute. Lisa felt the last of her walls beginning to crumble. Everything she had built to protect herself was falling away, leaving her exposed and vulnerable. But maybe, just maybe, that vulnerability was exactly what she needed to save her people. Lisa spent the night staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. Thexnaller's words echoed in her mind. He wanted her to trust him completely, to tear down every wall she had built around her heart. But trust had gotten her squad killed. Trust was a luxury she could not afford. At dawn, urgent alarms began sounding throughout the city. Lisa rushed to the window and saw military ships launching from every platform. The sky filled with alien warships moving in attack formation. Jake burst into her room. Lisa, we're getting reports from our scouts. Massive Kethmaran fleets are moving toward human space. They're not waiting for the negotiations to end. Before Lisa could respond, Thexnaller appeared in the doorway. His face was grim. It has begun. Admiral Vexcolor convinced 3 battle fleet commanders to support his plan. They launch for your colonies within the hour. Dr. Ryan Carter joined them, his tablet showing intercepted communications. The Admiral declared the talks a failure. He's telling his forces that humanity rejected all reasonable offers. That's a lie, Lisa said angrily. We haven't rejected anything. The council hasn't even given us real terms to consider. Truth is irrelevant now, Thexnaller said. Vexcalar has support from enough commanders to act independently. The High Council cannot stop him without starting a civil war. Lisa felt the walls closing in around her. Everything was falling apart. Her mission had failed before it truly began. Soon human colonies would burn while she stood helpless on this alien world. There must be something we can do, she said desperately. Thexnalar stepped closer, his yellow eyes intense. There is, but it requires the trust I asked for last night. Complete trust. What kind of trust? I can stop Vexcalar's fleets, but to do so, I need information that only you can provide. Information that your government has kept secret. Lisa felt ice in her veins. What information? Your military capabilities. Real ones. Not the data you have shared publicly. Vexcalar attacks because he believes humans are helpless. If I can show him proof that you are more dangerous than he thinks, I might convince him to reconsider. Jake stepped forward. Lisa, that's classified intelligence. Sharing it would be treason. And not sharing it means watching our colonies burn, Lisa replied. But Jake was right. Military secrets were not hers to give away. Her duty was clear. Thexnaller seemed to read her thoughts. You hesitate because duty tells you to refuse. I understand this. But I ask you, what is more important, following orders or saving lives? Lisa thought about her lost squad, about the 18 people who died because she chose duty over conscience. Was she about to make the same mistake again? Even if I wanted to help you, she said slowly, I don't have access to that information. I'm a diplomat, not a military commander. But Commander Sullivan does, Thexnalar said, looking at Jake. His ship carries the latest intelligence reports, battle plans, fleet positions, everything Vexcalar would need to see. Jake's hand moved to his weapon. Like hell, I'm not betraying my own species to an alien. Even to save them? Thexnaller asked. How do we know you're telling the truth? Jake demanded. How do we know this isn't some elaborate trick to get our military secrets? Thexnaller was quiet for a moment. Then he began removing pieces of armor from his arms and chest. Underneath, Lisa could see more scars, old wounds that had healed badly. But she also saw something else, small metal devices attached to his skin. These are loyalty monitors, Thexnaller explained. They record everything I do, everyone I speak with. The High Command uses them to ensure perfect obedience from their war princes. He pulled out a small knife and began cutting the devices free. Blood ran down his arms as he ripped them from his flesh. By removing these, I commit treason against the Empire. The punishment is death. I do this so you will know my words are true. Lisa stared in shock as the alien mutilated himself to prove his honesty. Why are you doing this? Thexnalar looked at her with eyes full of pain and regret. Because I failed someone I loved once by choosing duty over conscience. I will not fail again. Your people do not deserve to die for the Empire's hunger. But your own people will execute you for this. Perhaps. But some choices are worth the cost. Lisa felt something break inside her chest. The walls she had built around her heart were crumbling and she could not stop them. This alien warrior was willing to die for people he had never met, simply because it was right. Jake stepped between them. Lisa, don't listen to him. This could be an act. We can't trust him, can't we? Lisa asked. Look at him, Jake. Look at what he just did. No one mutilates themselves for a lie. People do crazy things in war, Jake insisted. Our duty is to protect classified information, not hand it over to the enemy. Are we still enemies? Lisa asked, looking at Thexnaller. After everything we've shared, after all the trust he's shown us? Thexnaller stepped forward, his scarred hands extended toward her. Blood still dripped from where he had removed the monitors. I demand your heart, Ambassador. Not your submission, not your fear, your true heart. You hide behind duty as I once hid behind glory, but I see you. I see the person who mourns her lost squad, who carries their deaths like stones in her chest. I see someone who understands that some prices are too high to pay. Lisa stared at his outstretched hands. Everything in her training screamed that this was wrong. She was about to commit treason against her own species. She was about to trust an alien with secrets that could destroy humanity. But she thought about Admiral Vexcalar's fleet, racing toward defenseless colonies. She thought about families sleeping peacefully, unaware that death was coming for them. She thought about her dead squad, and the choice she had made to follow orders instead of conscience. "Jake," she said quietly, "give him the intelligence files." "Lisa, no, I can't do that." "That's an order, Commander." Jake's face went pale. "You're asking me to betray everything I've sworn to protect. I'm asking you to help me save our people." "There's a difference." Jake stared at her for a long moment. Then he pulled out his datapad and began accessing the secure files. "This is insane," he muttered. "We're all going to be court-martialed for this." "Maybe," Lisa agreed, "but we'll be alive to face trial." She turned to Thex Nalar and took his bloody hands in hers. "I'm trusting you with everything I am. Don't make me regret it." The alien's yellow eyes softened. "I will not fail you, Lisa Martinez. I swear it on the memory of my lost love." Jake finished downloading the files and handed the datapad to Thex Nalar. "Military positions, fleet strengths, defensive capabilities. Everything we have." Thex Nalar studied the information quickly. His expression grew surprised, then thoughtful. "Your people are more capable than we believed. These ship designs, these weapons, they are primitive but clever, and your numbers are larger than our intelligence suggested. Will it be enough to stop Vex Kalar?" Lisa asked. "Perhaps. But I must reach him before his fleets engage, and I must convince him that conquest will cost more than the Empire is willing to pay." "How long do we have?" Thex Nalar checked his communicator. 6 hours until the first attacks begin. "I can reach the Admiral's flagship in 4 hours if I leave now." Lisa felt panic rising in her chest. "What about us? What happens to the human delegation?" "You stay here. If I succeed, you will be safe. If I fail—" He did not finish the sentence. "And if Vex Kalar decides you're a traitor for helping us?" Thex Nalar smiled sadly. "Then I will join my Kiravel in whatever comes after death. Some reunions are worth dying for." He turned to leave, then stopped. "Lisa, you asked me once why I help you. The answer is simple. You showed me that strength and compassion can exist together, that warriors can choose to protect instead of destroy. That is a lesson worth any price." He left them standing in the room, bloodstains on the floor marking where he had torn away his loyalty monitors. Lisa watched him go, knowing she had just bet everything on the word of an alien she had met 3 days ago. "Did we just do the right thing?" Jake asked quietly. Lisa touched the metal on her uniform, thinking of her lost squad. "I don't know. But for the first time in 10 years, I chose to trust someone instead of hiding behind duty. Maybe that's enough." Outside, Thex Nalar's ship launched into the alien sky, racing toward a confrontation that would determine the fate of 2 species. Lisa could only wait and hope that her leap of faith would not doom them all. The hours crawled by like centuries. Lisa paced her quarters, checking her communicator every few minutes for news that never came. Jake and his security team monitored alien communications, trying to track the approaching fleets. Dr. Ryan Carter worked frantically to decode military transmissions. "Anything?" Lisa asked for the 10th time. Ryan shook his head. "The military channels are encrypted, but there's a lot of chatter. Something big is happening." Lisa walked to the window and stared out at the alien city. Somewhere out there among the stars, Thex Nalar was risking everything to save people he had never met. She had given him her trust, her heart, and possibly her species' greatest secrets. Now all she could do was wait. A soft chime sounded. Dr. Carter looked up from his equipment with surprise. "I'm getting a transmission from the High Council. They want to see you immediately." Lisa's blood chilled. "All of us?" "Just you." "And Lisa, there are a lot of guards coming this way." Minutes later, Lisa found herself surrounded by alien warriors as they escorted her through the council building. Their faces were grim, their weapons ready. Whatever had happened, the Kethmorans were not pleased. The council chamber was packed with alien officials. The 7 High Council members sat in their elevated positions, but now Admiral Vex Kalar stood before them. His face was twisted with rage, and Lisa could see blood on his armor. "Ah, the human ambassador arrives," the center council member said. His voice was cold as winter. "How fortunate. We have just received some interesting news." Lisa kept her voice steady. "What kind of news?" "Your friend War Prince Thex Nalar has been very busy," Admiral Vex Kalar snarled. "He attacked my flagship, disabled my communications, shared classified human intelligence with my commanders, all in an attempt to stop a perfectly legal military operation." Lisa felt her heart sink. Thex Nalar had been caught. "Where is he now?" "Dead," Vex Kalar said with satisfaction. "Shot while resisting arrest." As all traitors should be. The words hit Lisa like a physical blow. Thexnaller was gone. The alien who had shown her how to trust again, who had sacrificed everything for strangers, was dead. She struggled to keep from showing her grief. However, the Center Council member continued, his actions have created an interesting situation. The intelligence he shared has complicated our military planning. In what way? Lisa managed to ask. Admiral Vexcalar stepped forward, his eyes blazing with anger. Your species is more dangerous than we believed. Your ship designs are primitive but effective. Your defensive positions are better prepared than our scouts reported. Most importantly, your population is 3 times larger than we estimated. Lisa felt a spark of hope. So the attack has been called off? Delayed, Vexcalar corrected. We are reassessing the situation. A quick conquest has become a long war. Some on the council question whether the cost is acceptable. And what do you think, Admiral? Lisa asked. I think Thexnaller was a fool who died for nothing. Humanity will still fall. It will simply take longer than planned. But Lisa noticed something in his voice, uncertainty. Thexnaller's sacrifice had planted seeds of doubt. The Admiral was no longer certain of easy victory. The Center Council member raised a hand for silence. We have a proposal for you, human ambassador. A test, if you will. What kind of test? Single combat. 1 human warrior against 1 of ours. If your champion wins, we will consider a formal alliance. If our champion wins, your species submits to Imperial rule without resistance. Lisa stared in shock. Single combat? That's hardly fair. Your people are much stronger than humans. Perhaps, but Thexnaller's intelligence suggests humans are more resourceful than we believed. This will prove whether that resourcefulness extends to combat. Admiral Vexcalar smiled coldly. I volunteer to be our champion. I will personally end this farce, Lisa's mind raced. A human could never defeat a Kethmaran warrior in straight combat. But maybe that was not the point. Maybe the test was about something else entirely. I accept, she said, on one condition. You are hardly in a position to make demands, the council member replied. I am if you want a fair test. My condition is this, I choose the human champion. Very well. Who do you choose? Lisa took a deep breath. This was the biggest gamble of her life. Myself. The chamber erupted in alien laughter. Even Admiral Vexcalar seemed amused. You? A small diplomatic female against a war admiral of the Empire? This is suicide, not combat. Maybe, Lisa agreed. But you said this was a test of human resourcefulness. I am confident in my resourcefulness. The Center Council member studied her with interest. You realize this is almost certainly death? I realize this is my responsibility. I came here to represent humanity. I will not ask someone else to die for my mission. Very well. The combat will take place in 1 hour. Prepare yourself, human. As the guards escorted Lisa back to her quarters, her mind was already working on a plan. She could not defeat Vexcalar through strength. But Thexnaller had taught her something important. Sometimes winning meant changing the rules of the game. Jake was horrified when she explained the situation. Lisa, this is insane. Let me fight instead. I'm trained for combat. Against a Kethmaran, you would last about 10 seconds. At least I have a plan. What plan? Lisa smiled grimly. I'm going to use their own honor code against them. An hour later, Lisa stood in a massive arena filled with alien spectators. She wore simple clothing and carried no weapons. The combat was supposed to be unarmed. Across from her, Admiral Vexcalar removed his armor to reveal a body covered in scars and metal augmentations. He was twice her size and built like a living weapon. Any last words, human? He called. Just one question. Lisa replied loudly enough for the entire arena to hear. What happened to War Prince Thexnallar's body? Vexcalar's expression darkened. He was cremated as befits a warrior despite his treason. Strange. I heard he was shot while trying to escape, but his wounds looked different when I saw the recordings. There were no recordings, but Lisa was betting on alien pride. Vexcalar would not let the accusation stand unchallenged. He died fighting, as all warriors should, Vexcalar said carefully. Really? Because the evidence suggests he was executed after surrender, that he was tortured before he died, that he was killed not for treason, but for showing you mercy when he could have destroyed your ship. The arena grew quiet. Lisa could see confusion and concern in the alien spectators. She was attacking Vexcalar's honor in front of his own people. You lie, Vexcalar snarled. Do I? Thexnaller told me about Kethmaran honor codes. How warriors must show respect for worthy enemies. How executing a prisoner who has surrendered is considered the act of a coward. Vexcalar's face went pale with rage. I am no coward. Then prove it. Tell everyone here exactly how Thexanalar died. Look them in the eyes and explain why a war prince who served the Empire for 30 years deserved to be shot in the back. Lisa was gambling everything on her reading of Kethmoran culture. They valued honor above all else. If Vexcalar had really executed Thexanalar dishonorably, it would destroy his reputation. The Admiral looked around the arena at thousands of watching faces. Lisa could see doubt in their eyes. Her words had found their mark. Enough, Vexcalar roared. I will not be questioned by inferior species. He charged at Lisa with inhuman speed. But she was ready. Instead of trying to fight him, she stepped aside and continued talking. Look at him, she called to the crowd. A mighty admiral attacking an unarmed diplomat. This is Kethmoran honor. Vexcalar swung at her, missing by inches. Stand and fight. Why? So you can claim another easy victory, like when you executed Thexanalar. Like when you planned to attack defenseless colonies. The crowd was growing restless. Lisa could hear angry voices, alien words she did not understand but whose meaning was clear. They were questioning their champion. Vexcalar caught her with a glancing blow that sent her sprawling. Pain shot through her ribs, but she kept talking. Is this how the Empire fights now? Murder and cowardice instead of honor? I am honorable, Vexcalar screamed. I follow the old ways. The old ways included mercy for defeated enemies. Thexanalar showed you mercy and you killed him for it. What would your ancestors think of that? Something snapped in the Admiral's mind. He pulled out a concealed weapon, a curved blade that gleamed with energy. The crowd gasped. Weapons were forbidden in honor combat. I'll show you honor, he hissed, raising the blade to strike. Stop. The voice echoed through the arena with absolute authority. The center council member had stood, his face dark with anger. Admiral Vexcalar, you will lower that weapon immediately. But she dishonors me with lies. The only dishonor I see is a warrior drawing a blade against an unarmed opponent. Lower the weapon or face the consequences. Vexcalar looked around the arena at thousands of disgusted faces. His own people were turning against him. Slowly, he lowered the blade. The council member looked at Lisa with something like respect. The human has won this combat, not through strength but through wisdom. She has shown us something we had forgotten, that true honor cannot be taken by force. Lisa struggled to her feet, pain shooting through her side. Does this mean the alliance offer stands? It means we will negotiate in good faith. Your species has proven itself worthy of consideration. Admiral Vexcalar stood alone in the center of the arena, abandoned by his supporters. His face,